What's up, guys? Welcome back for another knife installment. Got another Twosun batch update. I wanted to do total of 13 new Twosuns in, so this will be a two-parter. Got 6 for the first episode, and I'll do 7 for part 2. But I definitely got some great stuff. Wanted to show you guys, and plenty of carbon fiber, titanium, and a little something extra special. But yeah, let's definitely get into this one. Been looking forward to this one. So first up, we have the TS107 here, and as you can see, this is a really gorgeous full titanium construction. This is a Wong design, and I have yet to tune this knife. The rest of them I've tuned and done, my normal disassembly and all that, but this one has yet to had any treatment or love. But it's right out of the box. And as you can see, just really amazing sculpting and machining, the micro milling, just beautiful. Really nice kind of straight drop point style blade, and then that sandblasted finish in here in the fuller hole style cutouts. But just a really gorgeous piece. S90V, and a really nice pocket clip, frame lock construction. As usual, I will go over where I got them, how much I paid, and just all that good stuff. But for this one, I got it off the bay for our auction. I didn't get it from D-Win or the Twosun stores. I just got it off of a U.S. secondary seller. So on this one, it did get bid up quite high. I spent $147 on this one, but I think it's definitely well worth it, being that it's discontinued and it is S90V. So definitely well worth it. And this thing is just, I mean, it's gorgeous. The ergonomics are phenomenal. This thing fits up perfectly in the hand. Even with all that sculpting and the way it looks, it might not look maybe ergonomic, but or comfortable. I mean, it does look really ergonomic due to those grooves and just the way everything is, but it might not look comfortable per se, but it still fits in the hand up really nicely. But the detent angle on this one comes in at a normal clearance, past it, and then you do have your detent ramp. The action on this one is, I guess, a little stiff, I would say. I haven't done my oiling or nothing, so it still could be a little bit smoother, but not too bad. A couple of light shakes and you're good to go. But just a really beautiful piece here. I'm really liking this one. That titanium backspacer, and then the integrated lanyard hole and how it sticks out. I could have done without this, but it doesn't really bother me. I kind of like the overall profile, just the shape and everything. And that skeletonized flipper tab, pretty cool looking, but works pretty good. Jimping is adequate, and the the detent here is nice and solid. This thing comes out pretty easily, but definitely a great knife here. Really enjoying this one. No jimping and no skeletonization in the inside, but still quite a solid and beautiful piece. The grind comes down to a pretty nice thinness, so this should be a nice and slicey S90V blade. Definitely gonna have to test this blade out and see how it functions, see how the heat treat is. But that's the 107 by Wong. So up next, I got something really sweet for you guys. I had originally bought this in carbon fiber, and when I saw White Mountain Knives had got some of these, I couldn't pass it up. It's the Kingfisher, the Twosun TS-186 by Mazwan Mohktar. And as you can see, it's in the Timascus inlays. And yeah, this thing is gorgeous. Look at that. This is my first knife with this much Timascus. I have the Kevin John Bone Doctor that's got some Timascus bolsters, but nothing like this. This is just wow. And for the price that I got this for, I paid $247 using the 10% discount code and getting it off of White Mountain Knives. So I was able to bring the original price down of $275 to down to $247. So not bad at all. I mean, that is, for this knife, this much Timascus, they could have charged $500 for this easily. I mean, M390, just beautiful, beautiful overall profile, design, the grind, everything. This knife is, it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. Look at this. So, just really, really happy with this piece. Like I said, originally I bought this in carbon fiber, and yeah, saw this 2 days after mine came in, and I sold it. That was the first knife I've ever sold, but had to recoup a little bit of money back, and yeah, definitely wanted to get this one instead. But kind of wish I just kept the carbon fiber one at the end of the day. I do like both of them. But yeah, really nice front flipper here. This thing sticks up quite a bit, but the jimping is grippy and it definitely catches that thumb. I love front flippers that are like this, that where, you know, you have to get in front of it. I feel like these front flippers work very well, and if your D10 is solid, like, you know, nice and easy to actuate, to get out, that's not too stiff but still, you know, solid, then this type of front flipper just works very well. And for me, if I can front flip it by doing the like knuckle flip, then it's a really easy front flipper to use, in my opinion. Or if I can top flip it, then that's kind of what I do to test a front flipper and see if it's easy, if it's made well, and, you know, if it's got a good front flipping action in general. But as you can see here, this is that overlaid frame lock construction. Got this nice little pocket clip, and then instead of the ball style, since this is an older model, you have just a normal little ramp. Beautiful centering, internal relief cut, and yeah, just a phenomenal design. That micro milling finish on the titanium. I really like this backspacer too. It's simple, but it's got that like rounded chamfering to it. So it's just got a clean little cool look to it. And then, yeah, definitely can reverse flick this baby, roll it out. And you can thumb flick it, but it's not the, you know, most easiest. It's not necessarily built for it. So that front flipper's pretty much where you're at, or reverse flick. But yeah, just a wonderful, wonderful knife. Beautiful knife here. The D10 angle real quick, just immediate. And then, like you see, action's pretty nice and smooth. This one doesn't have a D10 ramp, but Mazwan usually, when he does those really early D10 angles, he doesn't necessarily put a ramp all the time, so I've seen that on quite a few of his models. But the TS-186 Kingfisher here, just incredible. Love it. So up next, guys, I have another Mazwan design. It's the TS-300 Pandemic. Really, really sweet full titanium design here. Look at that blade. That thing is sick. This knife just looks like a custom. I mean, I wish they would have not put the Twosun logo, and he would have done what he does on several of his other models and gone with the logo on the inside of the handle instead. It would have given this knife more of a custom look to it. But still really, really sweet design here, and if you guys sub to my channel and you watch my videos, then you've probably heard me say I'm a sucker for Tontos, and yeah, definitely huge sucker for this Tonto specifically. Look at that shape, just how aggressive that is, the hollow grind, the flat tip, and this thing comes down to a pretty screaming thin edge. So really great grind here. You can tell, this is hand ground, since there is some tiny little imperfections, but for the most part this thing is got a pretty good grind on it. Nice thick tip. And yeah, just some simple chamfering to the titanium, but good shape overall. Feels good in the hand. Then you can choke up here. And I like that Mazwan does these integrated 4-finger choils. So you have that choke up spot, but you don't have to use it. You can just use the regular grip style, but you don't feel like you're choked back, way back on the knife or anything. This feels like a normal grip. Or if you want, just use that choked up position a little. But then here, you also don't feel like you're too forward, so it's something Mazwan does, and I really like his just handle ergonomics and his designs in general. He does a really fantastic job on just his designs. I mean, dude knows what he's doing. Nice and smooth. And then again, one of these thumbhole style knives that I've been more into. I kind of wish he would have either rounded this or extended this and made this jimped and front flip, or made it a front flipper. That would have been pretty cool. But, doing the normal thumb hole here is good with me. You can thumb flick this baby too, so yeah, still a second form of deployment there, and you're pretty much good to go. The D10 angle on this one is early to normal. You pass it, and having no flipper tab, you don't gotta worry. Just make sure that you're not hitting your thumb or anything, cutting yourself when it comes swinging down, and you're good to go. Good action, nice and smooth, good centering, internal relief cut, always something I love. This pocket clip is nice, the way it just parallels with the blade, or the handle shape and everything. Looks really good. You got that ball style though, and it's kind of low on the clearance, but it does work fine. Your titanium pivot collars. Can do some anodizing on that if you want to kind of style this up a little more. But yeah, great knife here. The only thing that I would say is wrong with this knife is the plunge is a little uneven, but like I had said, it's, hand ground. So they kind of extended this one a little too far back. But still, I mean, plenty of life in that plunge grind sharpening choil, so good blade here still. 14C, and yeah, good to go on this one. It's the TS300 Pandemic. Up next, we have the TS219 Nightstalker by Jelly Jerry. And yeah, this is a really gorgeous piece, reminiscent of the TS224 Viper. It's kind of got that overall kind of profile in general, that blade shape. The only difference is the back end of the handle. Instead of having this outer rounded in, it just kind of comes in instead, and then rounds out at the end here. But really cool design, really liking this one. You have that compounded tip, and then this one comes down to a pretty nice thinness as well. 14C. There's Jelly Jerry's logo, and this is a bolster lock style. Nice pocket clip. This clip works pretty damn good. And then the carbon fiber, just gorgeous as usual. It's got that faux bolster style with the titanium scales, and they mill it out to put this carbon fiber onlay, I guess, or scale. So yeah, your bolster style, but just a gorgeous piece here. I paid, well, it was like 90 for this one, forgot to mention. Got a White Mountain knives, and then same thing, 90 on this one, White Mountain knives. You got your kind of slit here, thumb slit, thumb hole, and this one's real smooth, great action, nice solid detent as well. Flipper tabs, got a good scoop here for the finger, helps. The jimping is again adequate. It could be a little bit more grippier, but with the way the finger sits and rests here, you just get a good purchase and can flip the knife out easily. Again, the detent solid. I did tune this one and the rest of these to where I like it, so yeah, just action is again phenomenal, real smooth, got a good lockup. Then you can see how the frame's got that real long cutout for the carbon fiber. But yeah, just a sweet Jelly Jerry design. Your detent angle is quite late on this one, so you do have to hang back so that you know, you can pass the detent, but you will pass it and then go the rest of the way. Just ridiculously smooth. But really sweet design here. Got that little bit of geared backspacer style, and I really like this finish they did on the titanium. It's got this like dark oxide just finish, and then the backspacer being slightly darker. I think that looks quite nice. So they also darkened this more than the back here, I noticed. So just some little details here for a $90 knife that really brings this over, you know, over the top, making it a very nice piece. But that's the TS219 by Jelly Jerry. One thing I do have to say real quick is if you're not past the detent and you think you are, you will get a little bit of what I call detent rebound, or I guess double clutch, as some people might consider that, but I don't think I would consider that double clutch. But anyways, on to the next one. We have the TS195 Silverback, and I have been waiting to get this model for so long. I'm so excited for this one. This is a Mazwan Mohktar design, and yeah, this thing is just sweet. I mean, you have so many forms of deployment here. You can middle finger flick this baby. You can do the knuckle flip, front flip it, thumb flip, and then your regular flipper. So yeah, just a very fidgety knife. The only problem with this knife, I mean, not necessarily a problem, is it is an integral, and that's a really awesome thing. This is my first integral, so really happy for that. But taking this knife apart and trying to disassemble and reassemble is quite the pain in the ass. So I would recommend not doing that unless you really know what you're doing and you know, are comfortable with it. It's not necessarily hard to put back together, but it's just everything needs to be right. Like when I put it back together, one of my bearings was kind of off, and it looked fine, and everything went back. You know, I was able to get it back on and everything reattached. It flipped, but it was just off. The knife wasn't right, and it took a little bit of tinkering and tuning, and finally I was able to set it back, and now this thing is functioning beautifully. The action out of the box was, you know, stiff and not what I was expecting, so now I got it exactly where I wanted, and I'm very happy with this piece. Plus the lock bar tension was real strong, and they had pushed it way over, so I took some of that tensioning out, or at least the the what's it called? I tuned it up to get some of that, yeah, just the pressure out, and gave it an earlier lockup. But the TS-195 Silverback here is a Mazwan Mohktar design. Again, integral piece. I got it in the wave pattern instead of the frag. Reason being is I knew this pocket clip is stiff. It is quite stiff, and with the ball style, getting it into the pants is difficult. So this will need to have that tension broken in over time. I mean, this thing is, yeah. After a while, it's just gonna have to set a little permanently up so that, Jesus, that it'll just stay like that, and it can get in and out of the pocket a bit easier. But I'm planning on doing some relief milling to help it out, even though it does have some. It definitely needs to be worked out a little bit more since it is chunky and short. So not the best, but it does function. And then once I can get it to loosen up that tension, it'll work a bit better. But still a really, really awesome knife, just sweet design. The jimping works great on this knife, even though it's got that small bit of jimping. It is grippy. And then your stop pin is the titanium frame itself, but it should hold up fine. Should be good to go. And then your stop pin for the close position is actually that like rounded part of the integral frame there. So once it closes, it hits that, and yeah, it's just pretty interesting construction. And something I found really interesting was how the bearings are set. How the bearing is set on this side, and then you take this out, you know, put the bearing in, put the blade in, and then put the bearing through, and then put this pivot in. It's just got an interesting construction. It's cool, but it's a pain in the ass to put back together. But really sweet design. Love that Warncliffe style blade. And here's the detent angle, immediate. And that's because, of course, this one doesn't have a detent ramp, so that's why Mazwan did that. But you pass it, and yeah, you're good to go. Pretty smooth. But that's the TS-195 Silverback. Just a phenomenal piece. Absolutely love this. And I paid $195 or $185. Got it from White Mountain Knives. So last one I'm gonna have to do really quickly. I only have 25 minutes, so. This is the TS-386 by Wong and this baby is pretty unique, pretty sweet. Got some black titanium. I think this is I've been calling it a black wash, but from what I think it is, from what someone else has said, it's a like carbonitride coating, but I'm not sure. It does look more black wash on this one though. Actually, this might just be a black wash. But yeah, you have the two-tone satin bevels, nice blade shape, a little bit of recurve, that drop point, that like Higo no Kami style top flipper. These thumb studs are a little too chunky and not my favorite, but if you get under them, they work fine. But I feel like they're better off for reverse flicking since you can get into that side better, and it does work. Top flipper works nice and easy. And then this is a inset liner lock, but this liner is really strong. I did have to take some of that tensioning now, and then getting this one tuned up was kind of difficult too, but still really cool knife overall. Your detent angle normal. On this one I have to run the pivot a little tighter to have it perfectly centered because of that strong tensioning, but still pretty smooth. I mean, being on that black wash. But yeah, this is the TS-86 by Wong and just pretty cool design here. I paid, what was it, like $78 for this? I'll have all the prices in the description, but yeah, enjoying that one. That's everything I got, guys, for this batch. I'll be doing part 2 soon. I'll have the last 7. More great stuff for you guys, so please like and subscribe, and yeah, definitely check out the next video. I'll be seeing you then. Have a good one. Later, guys.